Amina was born around 1533 in the powerful Hausa city of Zazzau. From the day she opened her eyes, the palace felt her fire. She was the granddaughter of Queen Bakwa, a calm and wise ruler, and everyone believed Amina carried something unusual in her spirit. While other princesses learned songs and weaving, Amina begged the palace guards to teach her how to ride a horse. She climbed onto a saddle before she turned 10. Every morning, she watched warriors train with spears, their movements sharp like lightning. Amina copied them in secret, using sticks she picked from behind the palace. When her mother found her bruised and dusty, Amina simply said, "I want to protect my people." Those words stayed in her heart like a drumbeat. By the time she became a teenager, the soldiers themselves whispered her name with respect. She trained harder than they did. She rode faster, thought quicker, and never gave up. Her courage began to spread beyond Zazzau's walls. But trouble was rising across the north. Zazzau's enemies watched the kingdom grow richer through trade routes. Bandits attacked caravans. Rival rulers planned to strike. Amina felt a storm coming, and she could not look away. Deep inside, she knew one thing: she was born for the battles ahead. When Amina turned 16, the elders called her Amina the Brave. She earned the title after joining the royal guards during a raid on a caravan outside Zaria. Though she was not allowed to fight, she rode with them to observe. But when enemies attacked suddenly, Amina pushed forward, guiding frightened traders behind her horse. Her quick thinking saved many lives. The story spread fast, and people began to believe she was touched by destiny. After Queen Bakwa died, Amina's sister, Zaria, became ruler. Amina led the cavalry as Magajia, the commander of the female warriors. She trained hundreds of women and men, teaching them discipline, unity, and courage. The kingdom grew stronger under her leadership. But danger was everywhere. Neighboring cities, Kano, Katsina, and Nupe, wanted control of trade. The armies tested Zazzau's borders. At night, Amina walked the palace walls, staring at distant fires glowing under the dark sky. She knew peace was fragile. One evening, an injured messenger arrived from the north. A rival chief had seized villages belonging to Zazzau. Families were taken. Farmlands burned. Amina clenched her jaw as the messenger spoke. She felt anger rise deep within her, not for herself, but for her people. That night, Amina made a promise that shaped her life: Zazzau would never bow to fear, not while she lived. In 1576, after her sister passed away, Amina became Queen of Zazzau. The drums of coronation shook the city. Elders raised their hands toward the sky, praying for strength. Children danced, soldiers saluted, and the whole kingdom whispered, "Our warrior queen has risen." But Amina did not smile. She felt the heavy weight of leadership settle on her shoulders. She spent her first weeks listening to traders, farmers, and warriors. She walked through markets quietly, studying people's fears. Many worried about raids from neighboring kingdoms and the loss of trade routes that fed the city's wealth. Amina knew Zazzau could not grow without securing its borders. So she prepared for war, not for glory, but for survival. She expanded the cavalry and forged alliances with skilled blacksmiths to produce stronger spears and shields. She traveled through villages, urging men and women to join her. Her voice was steady, her eyes sharp. People believed her because she believed in them. When scouts returned with news that Kwarofa warriors planned an attack, Amina gathered her commanders. The room was silent as she spread maps before them. Her plan was bold: Zazzau would strike first. The soldiers gasped, but Amina stood tall. She raised her spear and said, "If we wait, we lose. If we act, we lead." That night, the fires of preparation burned across Zazzau. Before dawn, Amina rode out with over 20,000 infantry and cavalry. The morning air was cold, and the grass bent beneath horses' hoofs. Amina led from the front, her red armor glowing in the early light. She carried her mother's dagger, a reminder of the strength she came from. Their first target was a fortified outpost controlled by Kororofa warriors. As they approached, arrows shot from behind wooden spikes. Amina raised her shield, shouting commands. Her voice cut through the chaos. Hold the line. Advance together. The soldiers moved with discipline she had spent years building. The battle was fierce, but Amina fought like a storm. She moved fast, striking with precision. Her courage pushed her warriors forward. By midday, the outpost fell. Cheers rose into the sky, but Amina did not celebrate. She knew this was only the beginning. They marched deeper through enemy lands, reclaiming villages and freeing families who had been captured. People wept when they saw her, calling her Amina, daughter of thunder. At night, she planned routes by firelight, studying every path, every hill, every river. She slept on the ground beside her soldiers, earning their loyalty more than any crown could. Within weeks, Zazzau's borders expanded farther than ever before. But Amina's eyes were still fixed on bigger threats. She wanted safety, not for a moment, but for generations. After securing the northern routes, Amina turned west toward the strong Nupe Empire, known for skilled archers and fierce war canoes. Many believed attacking Nupe was impossible. Their city walls were tall, their warriors disciplined, and their river defenses strong. But Amina knew Zazzau needed control of the Niger trade routes to grow. She gathered her council. Some elders begged her to reconsider, warning of great losses. Amina listened quietly, then said, "If fear leads us, enemies will rule us. If courage leads us, we choose our future." Her words settled the room. The march to Nupe land was long and exhausting. Rains turned roads to mud, slowing the army, but Amina encouraged them at every stop. When they reached a major Nupe settlement, they faced resistance. Arrows darkened the sky as drums thundered from inside the walls. Amina ordered her engineers to build defensive earth walls, tall barriers of packed soil. These later became famous as Amina walls. Behind them, her warriors found protection while they pushed forward. The Nupe defenders were shocked by the strategy. At sunrise, Amina launched a coordinated attack. Her soldiers scaled the walls, and her cavalry charged through broken gates. By noon, the settlement surrendered. Trade routes reopened under Zazzau control. Amina stood on the walls she built, the wind brushing her face. She whispered, "This is only the beginning." With the Nupe routes secured, Amina led her army south. The forests were thick, the air heavy, and the paths narrow. Many soldiers grew tired, but Amina kept them moving with steady courage. She believed every new road conquered would bring more safety and wealth to Zazzau. She reminded them, "Each step we take protects our children's future." Their next challenge was the Igola lands. The Igola warriors were strong and fast, fighting with long spears and shields decorated with symbols of their ancestors. When Amina's scouts returned with news of an approaching Igola force, the camp grew tense. But Amina stood before her warriors, her voice calm. "We fight with honor. We fight for peace." The first clash happened near a riverbank. The Igola warriors rushed forward with loud battle cries. Amina's cavalry split into two wings, forming a crescent around the enemy. Dust rose. Horses thundered. Spears clashed. Amina's plan worked, the Igola line broke, and many retreated across the river. After the battle, she ordered her soldiers to help injured Igola fighters. This act of mercy surprised everyone. The captured warriors watched her in silence, seeing not a conqueror, but a queen who fought with purpose, not hatred. Amina wanted victory, but she also wanted respect, the kind that brought peace, not fear. As Amina's influence spread, traders from faraway lands brought gifts to Zazzau, fine cloth, strong horses, and rare metals. But with success came new enemies. Some rulers feared that Amina was becoming too powerful. They planned secret alliances to stop her rise. One night, while Amina and her army camped near the Benue River, a messenger arrived with troubling news: a coalition of rival cities prepared to strike Zazzau from the east. Amina sat quietly by the fire, thinking deeply. She could not be in two places at once. She needed a plan that protected her people while keeping her enemies confused. The next morning, she divided her forces. One half marched back toward Zazzau to strengthen the capital. Amina kept the other half and advanced toward the coalition. She chose speed over size. "We strike before they come together," she said. "When they are scattered, they are weak." Her army moved like lightning. They surprised the first enemy camp at dawn. The second fell 2 days later after a short battle. Word spread quickly. The remaining enemies panicked and abandoned their plan. When Amina returned to Zazzau, crowds filled the streets cheering her name. Children ran beside her horse. Elders blessed her. But even with all the praise, Amina felt the loneliness of leadership. She knew every victory came with a cost. Still, she pushed forward. The kingdom needed her strength. Amina's campaigns lasted for over 30 years. She built trading posts, strengthened cities, and raised more of her famous protective walls. These Amina walls stretched across many lands, showing where her influence had reached. Travelers felt safe again, and merchants said her leadership made the Hausa region one of the strongest in West Africa. But Amina's heart carried a quiet burden. She spent most of her life on horseback, moving from one battlefield to another. She had no children. She rarely stayed long in Zazzau. Sometimes, on quiet nights, she wondered what her life might have been without war. Yet she always returned to the same answer: she fought so others would not have to live in fear. In her later years, challenges grew. Some distant rulers refused to pay tribute. Bandits targeted caravans again. Amina, older but still sharp, refused to rest. She led yet another campaign toward the east, determined to secure more roads. During one march, she climbed a rocky hill overlooking a valley. The wind lifted her long veil as she studied the land. She whispered, "As long as I breathe, Zazzau will stand strong." Her generals exchanged worried glances. They saw her strength, but also her exhaustion. Still, none dared to question her. Amina had earned their loyalty through decades of leadership. The final years of Amina's life brought her greatest test. During a campaign near Atagora, word reached her camp that enemies were gathering again, hoping to reclaim lands she had once conquered. Amina refused to let fear spread among her soldiers. She walked through the camp, greeting warriors by name. Her presence lifted their spirits. The battle began at sunrise. The enemy fought fiercely, using new tactics and heavier shields. Amina's troops pushed forward, but the rocky terrain made movement difficult. Arrows struck from hidden positions. Still, Amina remained at the front, guiding her forces with calm control. But as the fighting grew heavier, a sudden strike pushed her cavalry back. Dust filled the air. Horses stumbled. The enemy advanced. Amina rallied her warriors with a shout that echoed across the valley. The Zazzau forces regrouped and fought harder. By late afternoon, the enemy retreated. Zazzau had won, but the victory carried pain. Many warriors were wounded. And Amina herself had taken a fall from her horse. Though she stood up, her commanders noticed she moved slower than before. That night, Amina sat alone by the fire. She looked at the stars, thinking of her long journey, the battles, the victories, the walls she built, and the people she protected. She whispered, "I have done my duty." Soon after the battle, the army camped in the town of Atagora to recover. Amina stayed in a small hut overlooking the valley. Her injury had worsened, and though she hid the pain, her generals grew worried. They begged her to return home to Zazzau, but Amina refused. "A leader does not live before her people," she said softly. Day after day, she watched her warriors train, giving them advice and encouragement. Children from the village brought her water and fruit. Elders came to bless her. Even the wind felt calmer around her, as if the land itself honored her presence. One quiet evening, Amina called her commanders into the hut. Her voice was gentle but firm. She told them to continue protecting Zazzau, to guard the trade routes, and to treat every kingdom with fairness. She reminded them that power must serve the people, not rule them with fear. That night, Amina passed away peacefully. When the news spread, cries rose across the region. Warriors lowered their weapons. Traders closed their stalls. Women sang songs of courage. Men told stories of her battles. Children repeated her name with pride. Though she left the world, her legacy lived on, in the walls she built, the lands she united, and the courage she taught her people. Queen Amina of Zazzau became more than a ruler. She became a symbol of African strength forever.